Hi, I'm Miss Cunningham, and I am your child's either their first block digital literacy teacher or their second block web design teacher. And I just wanted to go over a few things for you within Google Classroom to make sure that you feel comfortable helping them and to make sure you know where to look for what they need to be doing. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a parent login for Google Classroom. You should be getting an invite from me to link your email with your child so that you can get an email status report just to let you know what they're doing and what they're not doing and those kind of things. But as far as seeing the classroom, you're really just going to have to look at it with your child's account. So you can look at it with them. So I am actually logged in just as a student in each of my classes, so you can see what that looks like. So this is kind of what it looks like when you get logged into Google Classroom, and you'll probably see a variety of classes. You'll see at least 4 classes for your child. Because they have 4 periods in a day at South. You might see some more, like the counselors have a website for the different classes, like the sophomores, freshmen, juniors, seniors, they all have their own Google Classroom. There might be a sport or a club classroom on there as well. So just know that they could also be on this homepage. You might also see an old class, and I've talked to our students, but if there are any classes that are still showing up, maybe from last year, they can actually remove those from their home screen. But I am logged in, like I said, just pretending I'm a student in each of the classes I teach, so you can kind of see what that looks like. So this is what I tell the students. I tell them to work through each of their classwork like a regular day. So they would start with their first block first, then move to their second, their third, and their fourth. So I'm going to show you a few things to look for to help your child figure out exactly what they need to be doing each day. So we're going to, so again, your child might be either in digital literacy first block or web design second block. So I'm going to keep this generic enough that it'll apply to both of you guys. So if I'm in digital literacy first block, I'm going to look there first. And you'll notice a couple things. One, you'll see these tabs at the top, and that's where you can find a little more information. The first is just a stream, and depending on your child's classes, depends on what is on the stream. But for my class, the only thing I'm going to put on the stream is their daily agenda. And so I've told the students that that's where they need to look each day to figure out what they need to do that day. So today is actually August 25th when I'm videoing this. So we're going to pretend that I'm virtual today and I'm looking on August 25th to see what I need to do. So I would go to the daily agenda first, and I'm going to click on that daily agenda, and it's going to take me to a page and it's going to look like this every single time, but this is going to tell them what they need to do for the day. You'll have your date in the top left-hand corner. You'll have your learning target. So this is the goal for today is to learn blank, whatever that is. And then you've got your daily agenda here. Now for right now, our virtual and at-home students, I'm kind of putting them on the same calendar, but starting next week, I'll probably have 2 different agendas depending on if you're at home or in person. But you can see that if I were in person, so today Blue students were in person, this is their agenda. But if you were home, you would look and see, okay, this is what I need to do today. I need to spend some time exploring Google Classroom and Ms. Cunningham's faculty website. And that's my goal for today for the red students who are home today, students A through J. So that should tell you what your child needs to be working on is by looking at the daily agenda. Now, sometimes I'll have videos linked here. Sometimes I'll have different things that are attached within it. But this is where they'll be able to find exactly what they need to do. Now, it's not where the assignment is, though, so that's something a little different. So, for example, today says that they need to sign the policies contract. Well, there's nothing to click here. There's nothing to see. So how can I access that assignment? So that is back over on your Google Classroom, and you're going to need to go to the classwork tab to see what needs to be done. Now, there's a lot of things on this classwork tab, and it's going to get really long throughout the semester. This is everything they have to do. If it's something that still needs to be done, it'll be blue. If it's something that has already been completed, you'll see, like this one, for example, I did, and so it turned it gray. So if it's something that needs to be done, I would need to click on it and complete that. So the example we used was the policies contract from the daily agenda. So if I needed to do this, this is where that assignment is. And I can just click on it. Sometimes there's little instructions here. Sometimes it's just completing a form. It'll vary each time. The biggest thing that I want to tell a student is to, after you complete an assignment, is to always make sure that it's either marked as done or that it's either been submitted. So if you think you're done with an assignment, it should be gray. So this one is still blue. So let's say I think I completed this, but I come back and look at it and it's still blue. Well, that means I probably have to either submit something or I have to mark it as done. So your child's really familiar with this, but I just want you to be aware that the blue, or it might be purple in your class, it just depends. The one that's not gray is the one that still needs to be completed. The one that's gray is something that has been done. You'll also notice, and you might have this in some of your other classes, there might be some more assignments in there, but they aren't necessarily due right away. So watch those due dates as well. Typing is something we do in my digital literacy class, but it's not all due right away, even though it's in there. You'll see that the first checkpoint is due August 28th, but the rest of them, the due dates just kind of go every Friday. You can see that that expands. So try not to be overwhelmed by the classwork tab and thinking you need to make everything, or thinking your child needs to make everything turn from blue to gray. You also need to pay attention to when it's actually due. The biggest thing to really, if my child were in this class, I would just look at that daily agenda and just accomplish what's there. So that's kind of the two main things for my class that I want your child to be looking at, is that daily agenda so they can see what they need to complete, but then also making sure that they are in the classwork tab and completing assignments. There's another little trick that might help your child as well, since they do have multiple classes, and that's the to-do tab. So this is something I've also taught them in class. This is something that their other teachers probably have gone over with them as well. But just so you can know that it exists, it is actually in a couple different places. So when you click on these three lines over on the left, that's your main menu. You can click this home tab and it will take you back to all your classes. So there's the to-do list right there, or it was right there underneath those three lines as well. So when we go to the to-do list, this is kind of nice because it organizes what needs to be done for all your classes. So again, I'm a student. I'm pretending to be a student in all three of my classes right now. So some of this stuff is showing up multiple times, but you'll notice that basically by tomorrow at 11:59 p.m., I need to make sure and do these things. And you'll notice there's view all, so it might be more than that. So I need to make sure and complete all of these items. And then by Friday, I've got the rest of these to complete. So again, there's more, but you want to focus on really what's due today, unless it's something like, I might say, start on assignment, but it's not due till Friday. So the to-do list is helpful, but it's not the only place that you should look. So I hope that helps you a little bit as a parent to be able to figure out what your child needs to do. Let me also say, these are the assigned assignments, but there's also two other tabs up here that under your to-do list that you could also look at. Missing are some assignments that your child has not done, but they should have. So keep an eye on that. And again, it might say missing, but they finished it, but maybe they didn't actually hit submit assignment. So that's just something else to be mindful of. There's also that done tab, which, I mean, you can look at that if you'd like, but it shows assignments that they've already completed and are done. And again, it's going to gray those out in their class. So I hope that helped you. Please message me if you need anything. I am more than happy to help. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. And hopefully we are going to be able to educate our kids as best as we can in this strange school year. See ya.